Meeting at 9:06 a.m. and would ask that Councilor Fulbright lead us in the morning prayer, please.
Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for all the blessings that you have bestowed upon us. We're thankful for the rain that we got. Help us and guide us today to do the Cherokee Nation's business, and help us to remember that we are serving a people that are depending upon us. In all things, we ask you to watch over us, guide us, and direct us. Amen.
Amen. Have a roll call, please.
Cody Buzzard. Chris Soap.
Here.
Neil England.
Here.
Jill John Baker.
Here.
Jack Baker.
Here.
Julia Coates. Here. Bradley Croft. Joe Crittenden. Jody Fishenhawk. Here. Meredith Braley. Janelle Fulbright. Here. Don Garvin. Hannah Laura Jordan. Present. Curtis Snell. Here. David Thornton. Tara Cowan Watts.
Honey.
We have a quorum.
All right, Chair, we entertain a motion to approve the minutes for July 14th as written.
I move to be approved.
Second.
We've got a motion to approve and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Minutes have been approved. All right, at this time we'll have the routine reports, and first up is Human Services Department. Jerry Snell.
Good morning.
Morning.
Well, Norma sends her apologies. She couldn't be here today. And you know the ritual. You have the report in your packet, and I'm sure all of you've read it. And if you have any questions, we'll do everything we can to attempt to answer those questions or get you an answer as quick as we can.
Councilor Fisher.
Last year we put some money in the budget to wire all the community buildings for generators.
Say that again.
Last year we put some money in the budget to wire the community buildings and buy generators to put in.
Oh, Joe, I have no idea what you're talking about. Probably it might be something that community service is doing through all the community buildings.
Matter of fact, I've seen it in our minutes the other day again. Is why I remembered it.
Through human services?
I thought that's why I seen it in the minutes.
Well, you could have, but I honestly, I'm not, but I'll certainly find out if such a thing exists. Okay?
Thank you.
Sorry.
Any other questions for Mr. Snell? Councilor?
Yes.
I just wanted to commend you on the Bridges Out of Poverty workshops that you held recently. I was able to attend on
Real impressive.
both days, and it was very, very impressive.
It was extremely beneficial for our staff.
And I think there's a lot going on there that is beneficial could be beneficial in so many forums. I know I took things out of it that I will use in my work with at-large communities, and just would really recommend everybody here that they take the opportunity to attend those workshops next year.
And we appreciate you taking time to come to it. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Coates. Is that all? Okay, we got Councilor Laura Jordan.
I too wanted to commend you on the clothing voucher program, and would you carry this back to Norma? It's my hopes that we can consider broadening the area or the stores that they can shop in next year, if that's a possibility. If we start now, maybe we could work out agreements with a greater number of stores, possibly some of the local stores. I'd like to keep that money in each community locally if we could, instead of it going out to some corporate office in another area. I've been told by several of my local constituents that own clothing and shoe stores that they're certainly willing to work with the tribe on maybe the same way that Stage did on giving them a discount. And I think we're missing an opportunity there to keep our money locally. And with the number of vouchers, how many did you do this year, Jerry?
A little over 6,000.
With the number of
A little over
vouchers,
6,000.
if we could keep that money locally, it'd help everybody. What is the old saying? $1 turns 7 times in the community you spend it in.
Right.
we can stimulate our own little local economy with that clothing program.
I'll make sure she gets the message.
Thank you, Jerry.
You're welcome.
Councilor Baker?
Yeah, Jerry, I don't know that you know too much about it, but there's nothing in here about the rental assistance. And I've been getting lots of phone calls from tribal employees, federal employees at Hastings, that they're getting letters saying that they, even though they for years rented rent houses to Cherokees on the rental assistance program, and even though they're federal employees, apparently when we took over the hospital and said that there would be no change and yada yada yada, that they signed some kind of a deal that they would, even though they're federal employees, apparently they're treated as tribal employees.
Tribal employees.
So now, I mean, let me give you a quick scenario. We have a Cherokee girl that you all help pay the utility deposits and stuff, and she has a child that's pregnant, single, Cherokee Nation employee, rental assistance. She goes to, when she moves in, goes to sign the contract, and because a federal employee is on the contract, it's illegal for you all to contract with her.
Right.
Now, I've talked to the Attorney General, and the Attorney General says, well, you know, they quit claiming to the husband and go ahead and do business with her. Well, okay, that's really going to help the wife, you know. It's but I mean, we're trying to get people to invest and be financially independent and you know, having this other source of income and all. And this is a federal employee that has just IPA'd with the nation. It's bad enough. You know, the other situation was a nurse at Hastings had a college student staying in one of their rent houses, was there all last year. The program told him to go get a new signed contract. He did, only to come back to find out that, oops, we can't contract with those people. So now he signed a 12-month contract at our urging.
I don't know that it was at our urging, but go ahead.
Well, I mean, he said, I did my paperwork, and they told me to bring in a signed contract. Now, if that's not at our urging, I mean, you know, I feel that if that was what we told him to do, and he went and signed it and came back and her social security number clicked up and says, oops, sorry, we can't help you anymore. And hopefully they'll quit claim deed as well. But it's really creating, you know, some problems. And I guess pretty much we're saying that if you're Cherokee and you happen to come and work with your tribe, then you can't rent to Cherokees. And there's something vastly wrong with that scenario.
I fully understand what you're saying, Mr. Baker, and yes, that was an Attorney General's ruling, and we have to follow whatever policy that they dictate to us, and that just happened here about 3 months ago that we discovered that we have several tribal employees that are landlords, and I'm not totally sure if it's the Sunshine Act that generated that decision or whether there's some internal policies through accounting. But I've known that for years that we have not been able to make a payment to a tribal employee, for instance, through our other NAHASDA components where we assist with deposits, rental deposits, first month's rent to help a family get into housing. We haven't been able to use that money, I know, to make payments to tribal employees. And that was where it all where it was all started from. And yes, there are several of those individuals that we've had to contact and let them know that we can no longer do business with them. And so it's one of those issues that Norma nor I can answer. It would have to be addressed with the Attorney General's office.
Or with legislation.
Right.
Thank you.
All right. Anyone else have any questions? Sorry to hold you a little bit longer, Jerry, but I know Councilor Fulbright had to step out just for a minute, and she had a question, so we'll give her a courtesy, and hopefully she'll return in a couple of minutes. While she's waiting, I would like to also comment on the clothing voucher program, and I had some volunteers down there at the Salina area, and they got some real positive feedback on not only the way that the vouchers were issued and the efficiency, but also the way that the teamwork between the various entities. They had some coordination, I guess, with the clinic there, that they were using some of their facilities. So the feedback that I got was it was nice to see different groups working together and really not, being real territorial and saying this is our equipment or this is our, stuff, you got to do this and that. So the feedback that I got was the two groups worked hand in hand, and it was really a positive, fun experience. And that was kind of interesting that somebody would say that, that type of stressful, intense event would be, kind of fun. So it was some good feedback. So.
Well, that's good. And Salina that was a heavy site.
Right.
And,
so if you would just, again, carry that back to normal, we'd appreciate it. Councilor Fulbright, you had a question?
Yes, not a question, comment or suggestion, I guess you would say. We had a really big turnout down in Sequoia County, and the staff just went above and beyond. Everything was well coordinated and everything, but it was at the Housing Authority site. And fortunately, it wasn't too hot that day, and Councilman Bill John Baker and Councilor Thornton and I handed out water. And about 10:30, I decided I would go inside and see how things were going. And it was like oven in there. So I asked one of the young ladies, how's everything? She said, would you please ask them to, lower the air conditioning? So I went out and found someone, and they said, it's broken. It was broken yesterday. And so then Councilman Baker, he called different ones, and David Sutherland got somebody down there to fix the air conditioning. We bought some box fans and put out buttons. My suggestion is this: since the line was so long and it was outside and it was extremely hot, could we move to the Sequoia County Fairgrounds building, which is the only building in Sequoia County that's big enough to accommodate everyone, that could be inside? And I don't think Salisbury High School cafeteria is set up for anything like that. It's a sort of unusual, it's a commons area that's very small. And I was wondering if we could move to the fairgrounds where it's air conditioned and everybody could be inside, because so many people bring their children with them. They don't understand they can leave them at home. And I just like for it to be a nicer atmosphere rather than everybody lined up out on. And
I will certainly make sure Norma hears the
but
recommendation.
the staff, it was well coordinated, and they had the ladies up front with a direct communication to registration in case somebody forgot this or that. It went really well for such a huge crowd. It was big.
I will share that. Okay?
Okay, thank you.
Councilor Christian Hawk.
Yeah, could you send us the final numbers of all the sites?
We certainly will.
Thank you.
But hopefully she'll have them by the end of next week, and we'll get those out to all of you. Okay?
All right, any additional questions for Mr. Snell? If not, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, next we have Community Services, Charlie Soule.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning. On my report, do you have any questions?
Any questions for Mr. Soule? Councilor Coates?
Well, I have a comment commendation for Mr. Soap as well, because I also attended Kata's conference
Well, thank you.
recently, and it too was very well organized, and just a pleasure to meet all the people from the local community groups, and a lot of valuable information that was going out there as well. So they're doing a good job with that also. I
Thank you
think.
very much. It was represented, and the staff did a good job. Mr. Chairman, I don't know if the appropriate time to the roads area, and we're gonna, do you want me to go ahead and ask questions about that? Because Michael's not here. Or either way, it's
Right.
up
If
to
there's
you.
no further comments, we'll move on to the roads. Are there any, Councilor Baker?
I'd like to echo Julia's comment on the Tata conference. It was very enlightening to be there to see what all was happening in all the communities all around the nation, and all the good work that y'all are doing and coordinating.
Thank you.
And I appreciate that very much. Thank you.
All right, any other issues for community services? All right, roads.
Are you gonna do roads?
You need to be like Bill John. Every time I get ready to sit down, he calls me back.
Councilor Gordon.
How are we coming along on our additions on the pavement? I know we got the pavement bid. Is that something you would cover, Mr. Soap, or would Mr. Sutherland? Oh, Mr. Sutherland looks like he's going up.
Okay.
Take it, okay, thank you.
All right. Next up is housing services, David Sutherland.
Good morning.
Morning.
I'll just jump right into that. Got a report yesterday from Ms. Waters, gave me an update, Adair County. Bell is under construction right now and paving is scheduled to start next week. Duncanville and Blackard will start after the completion of Bell. Mays County, Sanders Heights addition, construction was scheduled to start about the time it started raining, I think last week. Waiting on the new start date. He's supposed to let us know, give us an update on when he intends to start now. Here in Cherokee County, Commissioner Botts, it was completed, Northeast Fort Gibson was completed Friday, August the 7th. Now, Mr. Hubbard, he has 3 projects. He's needing some dollars to assist in getting that job done. What we're doing is looking at getting competitive bids, comparing what he intends to do it for, and then I'm sure he'll probably be cheaper, so we'll end up signing an agreement with him to do the work, and that way we're covered through the competitive bidding process. So that's kind of an update on those. And we got several other projects that we're going to do with stimulus, but we haven't really moved up real far on those at this point. Kind of get the bugs worked out of the system, so to speak, but we do have several projects still on the drawing board.
Commissioner Hawk, you have a question?
The ones you're talking about right now about the extra, the stimulus, would that be like Meadow? I think I got one out there, Meadowbrook, Meadow Farm.
Why don't I send you all a list of what's still out there that we're looking at? Because I don't remember what I was on.
Okay, thank you.
You all should have got an information packet that was requested last month on housing programs and who's doing what department. I emailed that over a week or 2 ago. Oh, you haven't got it? Okay, well, Shelley.
Okay, we'll follow up on that, David. Councilor Willard.
Could he give his copy to,
Yeah, I'll give it to them on the way out, and they can go ahead and make copies. But it's got, it's by department, which housing services, what they have, commerce, community services, anyone's got some housing. And that was put together. I'd like to take credit for it, but I didn't do it. Some of Anna's folks did that, so I appreciate her doing that.
Mr. Chair?
We've got a question from Councilor Snell.
David, L.D. Woods property over there where the lagoon was, they got the sewer systems on all the houses have been taken care of, working good shape. But the old lagoon is still 2 or 3 foot deep. It goes off pretty bad odor.
Let me,
I think-
visit with Billy Hicks
Okay.
and see what we can do.
Maybe gravel or fill it or something.
Do you know if he's hooked to that?
Uh,
Do you know if he's hooked to that, Mr. Woods is hooked to that?
No.
Don't know for sure. I'll visit with Billy and see what we can
Okay.
come up with.
Well, I don't think LD's talked to no one about it except Bill.
Okay.
But he called the other night, we went over there, it was real hot,
Mm-hmm.
and it had a bad odor. Now,
I can
when the
understand.
rain comes, it really gets more.
I know what you're talking about. I was up in Garden City, Kansas, a week or two ago. There's all those feedlots around there. It's about 100 degrees.
Oh, nice.
And I'm in the middle of Garden City, and I'm trying to get gas at 9 o'clock at night, and I just can't hardly do it. I mean, I'm like this. It's so bad. So we'll visit with him.
Thank you.
Councilor Kyle Watts.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. When is the website going to be complete, the reconstruction on the programs and services? And I'm trying to get online to check it to see that.
It is on there.
Okay, so all those applications and programs are on there?
Applications are on there, the whole.
Applications we're working on, we can
Okay. I will check it out now as soon as I'm online.
My only deal with it is it's kind of hard to find. So you give us feedback on, how hard
Okay.
was it to find? Because I thought you got to search for it pretty.
We're buying a domain name that we have to make.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
All right, any further questions for Mr. Sutherland? All right, if not, thank you.
Thank you.
David, appreciate it. Next up is Commerce Housing Report, Santa Knight.
Morning. You have a copy of our report, and I'll be happy to try to answer any questions that you might have.
All right, any questions for Ms. Knight? If not, appreciate you coming out today and assisting with the conversations and reports.
Is that a nice way of saying button in? Thank you.
Thank you. All right, moving on, we've got old business and there's none pending. Moving on to new business, and there's nothing that's been pushed up the ladder this month, so there's none pending under new business. Do we have any announcements that need to go out? Okay, yes, got an announcement.
The only thing I wanted to add or ask was, I wanted to make sure that everyone had received the maps that they had requested, I believe it was last month. And I recall that a few of you wanted the full-size scale maps. And if anyone wants those, if they can just let me know either now or you can email me, and I'll get them out to you as soon as possible. I can email them to you. We have the knowledge for those. Does anybody want a large scale of the RR roads map that I sent out last week? Okay.
We didn't get them.
You didn't? I brought them here up to the council house, but I will make sure that you.
Now, we're talking about the 8x11 or the large scale poster size?
One of them, yeah.
Well, I brought the 8x11s, or excuse me, the 11x17s is what they were. I brought them up here. I'll bring some more for you.
Okay.
And then I said whoever would like a large scale, I think they call it size D.
Right.
I can get those for you as well.
Okay.
So.
All right. We have some counselors that are saying they didn't get them. We had some. I think they came out in the mail-out packets for some of us. So we may have some additional requests for either the tabloid or the size D. So we'll just coordinate among ourselves, and we'll send you a message. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Councilor Jordan, did you have?
Well, I was just going to ask her to bring some of the size B over to our offices here. Don't mail them. I wouldn't mail them. Just bring them over here.
Okay. Yes, ma'am. I'll remember.
So how many do we have? Can we get a count of 3 right here?
The large ones.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You can bring 8, we would appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. All right, any other announcements? If not, entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Got a
Second.
A motion and a second, all those in favor? All right. Meeting adjourned.